Katy Perry is officially the queen of flops, and it's pretty sad from a creative standpoint. Katy Perry went from simplistic but extremely effective, unstoppable pop powerhouse to now being a pathetic shadow of what she once was. And you know, it's okay, which I'll elaborate further in the video. After releasing a few creative droutacious, yes, I made that word up, after releasing a few creative droutacious bodies of work that flopped commercially in the latter part of her career, many have moved on to other younger pop stars in an era where older pop stars still reign supreme. Leading up to the release of her 7th studio album 143, the singer received a shit ton of backlash, as it was revealed Dr. Luke was involved in the lead single Woman's World, along with other criticizing her generic lyrics, resulting in the song's entry on Billboard's Hot 100 at number 63, where it spent only a single week before falling off. Now 143 has been finally released, and the critics are still not impressed. Considering Katy's downward trend, this will more than likely turn out to be another flop in the singer's arsenal. In this video, let's talk about one of pop music's fallen queens, Katy Perry. I will talk about her career for a bit, recapping her pop dominance. Then I'll review her latest album, 143, and I'll also tell you why Katy Perry being the queen of flop isn't really that bad. I am Donnie Pop Culture Boy. Let's get into it. Catastrophic. I want to first start with a very quick rundown on the singer's career, just in case you've forgotten the glory days of Katy Perry, or for anyone who is like, oh my god, why are you making such a big deal out of Katy Perry? Now, for those who don't know, Katy Perry was born Catherine Elizabeth Hudson in Santa Barbara, California, and her parents are Pentecostal pastors. Katy Perry said she didn't have a childhood growing up, as her parents were very strict. In an interview, Katy Perry recalled she wasn't read any books other than the Bible as a child. She couldn't listen to secular music and had to call deviled eggs angel eggs. While growing up, Katy Perry developed a love for music and started taking singing lessons at age 9, before being incorporated into her parents' ministry. In 2001, Katy Perry released her debut studio album, which was self-titled Katy Hudson, a Christian rock type effort that sold only 2,000 copies. Now at age 17, the singer turned to the dark side, moving to Los Angeles in pursuit of a record deal, and also changing her name to Katy Perry, which has a nicer ring to it in my opinion. Katy would experience a first-hand account of the constant destructive nature of the music business. She was first signed to Java, where she started to work on her debut album in 2005. Java's deal with Island Def Jam Music Group, which is no longer in operation, got terminated, resulting in Katy naturally being let go. She then inked a deal with Columbia Records to release her debut. However, in the final stages of the project, Perry was dropped again in 2006. Side note, apparently the actress from Disney's Even Stevens, Christy Carlson Romano, her name is such a tongue twister. Anyway, I used to love watching Even Stevens. Anyway, apparently her and Perry were eyeing the same record deal, allegedly. But yeah, after being dropped by Columbia, the singer then signed to Capitol Records in 2007, where things finally start to stick for Katy. Katy had an unconventional mainstream debut, with Capitol being the driving force behind her. I Kissed a Girl, the singer's debut single, roared onto the radio in the spring of 2008, turning heads and causing people's eyeballs to fall out.
Later.
Personally, I couldn't believe what I was hearing on the radio back then. It was just unheard of. I'm 80 years old right now, so in 2008, I was about, 64 when that song came out? But yeah, Katy Perry, Kissed a Girl, and liking it caused outrage throughout the nooks and crannies of King's Landing. Even the imp himself, the god of tits and wine, thought the song was good. The track debuted on the Hot 100 at number 76 and quickly shot to number 1, where it stayed for 7 weeks, becoming her first number 1 in the US. And it's been history ever since. Katy Perry has released monumental pop singles and commercially successful albums prior her flop era. One of the Boys, the project that turned Katy Perry into a superstar, had a slow burn, selling 47,000 copies in its first week, but has since been certified 3 times platinum in the US. And that album, One of the Boys, had a crazy single cycle: I Kissed a Girl, Hot and Cold, Waking Up in Vegas, and Thinking of You, which is probably my favorite Katy Perry song of all time. And those songs gave Katy Perry an identity as a pop princess that had a little goofy side to her. It was all about the fun and being inspired, all about upliftment. Katy's third studio album, Teenage Dream, transformed her into a pop legend, becoming a staple in modern pop music with its array of 6 singles, 5 of which reaching the summit of the Hot 100, tying Katy Perry with Michael Jackson as the artist with the most #1 singles from one album. Teenage Dream has also hit a new milestone recently, selling 10 million copies in the US. The singer's commercial success continued with her 4th studio album, Prism, the album that produced the Diamond certified singles Roar and Dark Horse. On Dark Horse, we would see Katy dabble in hip-hop, continuing the trend of white female pop stars utilizing or dabbling in hip-hop to keep the genre of pop hip and fresh after Chicken Cutlet shaking Miley Cyrus. And Prism 2 was a money maker, being certified 5 times platinum. But, oh no, things started to go downhill for Katy Perry in 2017 after releasing her 5th studio album, Witness. And her flop era continued with 2020's Smile. Both albums are yet to be certified platinum since their release and were both certified gold in 2024. To be honest, the songs on Witness are just aight, outside of the lead single, Chained to the Rhythm featuring Skip Marley. And with Smile, it's just a complete waste of resources outside of Harley's in Hawaii, Never Really Over, and Daisies. They could have just released those as standalones and forego an album, in my opinion, of course. The main problem with Witness and Smile was that Katy didn't pass the vibe check. The emotions, the essence of Katy Perry was not present. Katy has always been a very based artist that was wrapped in fantasy, meaning she didn't have the gymnastic vocals like a Beyonce, although I would still consider her a strong vocalist. Like, she knew how to use her voice, and she had humor and knew how to tell a story on a larger-than-life production, while her personality shined through. Katy Perry tried to get deep and purposeful on Witness, but it fell flat, like a fish out of water. She tried going back to basics on Smile, and she did, but without the edge and fierceness, like a bird whose wings have been clipped, that flattered, trying to find its purpose, struggling actually. And on that note, let's review her latest studio album, 143, her attempt at somewhat a dance record. I'll review the album track by track and give my take on the project at the end, along with my final thoughts on the singer's career. Now, the album opens with Woman's World, the track that caused a ton of controversy for the singer, and I made a video giving my opinion on that whole situation. Go check that out. But I don't think the song is that bad as people say it is. Yeah, the vocals are overproduced and the lyrics are basic, but to me, that's what they were going for. If you look at it from the bubblegum perspectives, this would actually get a 10 out of 10. The main issue is that Woman's World is a soundtrack type song that should not have been a lead single for her album if she wanted to take her seriously. The second track, Gimme Gimme, featuring 21 Savage. I really wanted to like this one at first, but I had to take away the star I gave it after listening to it over and over. 21 Savage's verse was not impressive. I hope they didn't pay for that verse. That was a scam-ass verse, in my opinion, and Katy Perry lacks life on the record. It's like she's reading the lyrics off her phone. The vocals is pathetic and lazy. Sounds like they did everything in one take. The third track, Gorgeous, featuring Kim Petras, again, sounds like a speedrun, like they did it in one take. Kim Petras first did nothing for the track, just throw away the whole song. I'm His, He's Mine, featuring Doechii. At this point in the album, I was like, okay, I see what's happening here. This is Katy's I Don't Give a Fuck era. And I think I said this in my Woman's World review video, but she doesn't care. If you're gonna release a soundtrack song as your lead single, you clearly are not invested anymore. Oh my god. The track is bad. It plays heavily on the sample, iconic sample by the way, but it's overplayed, very noticeable at this point, and they did nothing to make it new and fresh. Doechii tried, but she couldn't save the song. Now I will say parts of the track sounds decent and reminds me of the old Katy, like when she said, "We good, we fine, don't even try." That part sounds nice. The vocal inflection definitely brought needed life to the song, but I end up getting bored halfway in the track. Crush is mindless and soulless. Lifetimes is one of the best songs on the album. It has that 2015 EDM vibe, and I can see why they would choose this as a second single. Also, another radio-friendly track here. It's not the best Katy Perry song, nor is it competing either, but it just gets the job done. The 9th track, All the Love, I fell asleep on that one. On Nirvana, there is no attitude to sell the song. The track itself has potential, but Katy doesn't have the style nor the cadence to pull it off. And so far, the plot is not even shining through. It's just too boring, but a little personality would have made the song better, which Katy Perry didn't have on the song. Artificial featuring Jid, I like it, but at the same time it has so much potential to be like a really dope song. But again, it falls short in the attitude department. But at the same time, it is still like one of my favorites on the album, but I still wouldn't listen to it again. Like, I see what they were trying to do, but Katy Perry just doesn't have the soul. She just doesn't have the vibe. The track has an E.T. vibe, so they're definitely trying to recapture Katy's lost swag, but it's obvious it's now impossible to find. I think Jid's verse was pretty decent. I like it, and he definitely stole the show. Now with Truth. Lyrically, it's an interesting deep cut where we find Katy wanting the truth even if it will hurt her. This could have been a highlight, but it's extremely bare and lacks the writing that it needs to keep one invested. And that's the issue with this album. The writing is so blah, making you not give a fuck. Now on the last song, Wonder, I'm not mad at this one. Like, it's very uplifting, and I think if you have kids, this one can be, a great sing-along with your kids, or, a great song for the road trip with your family. Overall, this was a tough listen, I'm not gonna lie. It's void of life and personality. Only 3 songs got a star: Woman's World, Lifetime, and the last track, Wonder. This album was not good. Katy has completely lost the sauce. Although Katy Perry is flopping and all, as this album won't do numbers, which is fine, but creatively, lyrically, and artistically, it flopped in those aspects as well. But I have to look at the bright side, because Katy has been here for a while now. Yes, eventually everyone falls, but Katy Perry still has a unique position. She's had a stellar career one could only dream of. She dominated the digital era in the 10s, and she's accomplished things we just won't see get replicated again or anytime soon. It's like she reached the ceiling extremely fast, so where else can she go other than down? She's done it all. Maybe she needs to change her name again and do a total 360. Who knows? And the other bright side is this generation in pop can get more shine, because if Katy was still in beast mode, a lot of people would be having a hard time shining, because Katy Perry used to be unstoppable in her prime.
I'm wide awake.
What do you think? I'm Don, your pop culture boy, and I will see you in the next one.